How to think clearly when everyone thinks differently. In 1986, the Space Shuttle Challenger exploded only 73 seconds after it started its flight. 7 astronauts died. After the accident, investigators discovered something shocking. Some engineers already knew there was a problem. The problem was connected to small rubber parts called O-rings. These parts helped seal the rocket boosters. Engineers knew that very cold temperatures could make these seals hard and unsafe. The launch was planned for a very cold morning. The temperature was much lower than during previous launches. The night before the launch, engineers and managers had a meeting. Engineers showed their concerns and data, but the conversation became confusing. Some people focused only on numbers and technical information. Others thought about business pressure and deadlines. Some trusted their experience and feelings. Others worried about the worst possible outcome. Everyone was thinking, but they were thinking in different ways at the same time. The problem was not that people were not intelligent. The problem was that their thinking was mixed together. Imagine if the team had separated their thoughts. First, look only at the facts. Then discuss feelings and concerns. Then study risks. Then search for solutions. Everyone would have been focused on the same type of thinking at the same moment. This idea became the foundation of 6 thinking hats, created by Edward de Bono. The method says that our brain works better when we separate different types of thinking. Each hat represents a different way of thinking. Blue hat, managing the thinking process. White hat, facts and information. Red hat, emotions and feelings. Black hat, risks and problems. Yellow hat, benefits and positive possibilities. Green hat, creativity and new ideas. Part 1, Blue hat, the leader of thinking. Before using the other hats, we need the blue hat. Blue represents the sky because it is above everything. It looks at the whole picture. When you wear the blue hat, you are not thinking about the problem itself. You are thinking about how you should think about the problem. The blue hat asks, what is our goal? What do we need to solve? What order should we follow? What should we focus on? The blue hat creates a plan for the discussion. Imagine a company meeting where 8 managers spend 4 hours talking about falling sales. They discuss production, advertising, prices, and customers. After 4 hours, they have no decision. They simply schedule another meeting. The problem was not a lack of intelligence. The problem was a lack of structure. A blue hat thinker would stop the meeting and say, let's organize our thinking. What is our main goal? Then the process could look like this. First, use the white hat to collect information. Next, use the green hat to create new ideas. Then use the black hat to analyze risks. Finally, use the yellow hat to find opportunities and benefits. At the end, the blue hat summarizes everything and decides the next steps. The blue hat makes sure that every type of thinking has its own time. Part 2, White hat, the facts only. The white hat represents neutral information. When you wear this hat, you become like a computer. You look at facts, numbers, and evidence without opinions. The main question is, what information do we have? For example, someone says, turkey sales increased because people want healthier food. This sentence contains 2 things. A fact, turkey sales increased by 25%. An interpretation, people want healthier food. The white hat separates them. A white hat thinker would say sales increased by 25%. A survey showed that 62% of new customers mentioned health as one reason. Facts come first, opinions come later. Many companies make mistakes because people start arguing before everyone understands the same information. Some cultures, including many Japanese companies, often begin meetings by collecting information first. People share what they know. Only after everyone has the same picture do they discuss opinions and decisions. The white hat also teaches us that not all information has the same level of certainty. Some facts are proven. Other information may only be a belief. A person can say, "I know this from the data," or "I believe this may be true, but we need to check." The important thing is to clearly separate facts from guesses. Part 3. Red Hat, the Voice of Feelings. Many people believe emotion should not influence decisions, but emotions are part of human thinking. During the financial crisis of 2008, some experienced investors felt that something was wrong before the situation became clear. The numbers were confusing, but their experience created a strong feeling of danger. Their intuition helped them make better decisions. The red hat gives emotions a place in the thinking process. When wearing the red hat, you can say, "I have a bad feeling about this idea." You do not need to explain or prove it. The feeling itself is information. An experienced business person may say, "My intuition tells me this partnership will fail." This feeling may come from many years of experience in recognizing patterns. Of course, emotions should not control every decision. But ignoring emotions is also a mistake. When feelings are not openly discussed, they still influence decisions secretly. The red hat allows people to express emotions honestly. Then the group can continue thinking clearly. Part 4. Black Hat, the Careful Judge. The black hat focuses on problems, risks, and possible failures. It asks, what can go wrong? What are the dangers? What problems do we not see? What could cause failure? Black hat thinking protects us from mistakes. A good example is a company developing a new medicine. At first, the results looked very promising. The market was huge, and everyone wanted to move quickly. But one scientist continued asking questions. She noticed possible problems. The medicine behaved differently than expected. Production could be expensive. There were possible safety concerns. Some people thought she was too negative. But her careful thinking saved the company from spending millions on a product that might fail later. This is the value of the black hat. However, black hat thinking has a danger. It is easy to criticize. Finding problems is often easier than creating solutions. A person can feel intelligent by saying, "This will never work," but never create anything new. That is why the black hat must have a limited role. It should not control the whole discussion. Also, it should not come first. If you criticize an idea too early, you can destroy creativity before it has a chance to develop. Part 5. Yellow Hat, the Positive Vision. The yellow hat represents optimism, value, and opportunities. It asks, what is good about this idea? What benefits can we create? How can this work? What opportunities do we see? A famous example is Post-it notes. A scientist at 3M wanted to create a very strong glue, but the experiment failed. The glue was weak and easy to remove. Years later, another employee remembered this failure. He had a problem. Bookmarks kept falling out of his book. He asked, "What if weak glue is actually useful?" This idea became Post-it notes. The yellow hat teaches us to look at possibilities. Positive thinking does not mean ignoring problems. It means searching for value. A person wearing the yellow hat does not say, "Everything will be perfect." Instead, they ask, "How can we make this idea better?" The yellow hat creates and improves ideas. The black hat protects ideas. Both are necessary. But creativity usually needs a chance to grow before criticism begins. Part 6. Green Hat, creativity and new ideas. The green hat represents creativity. It helps us break old patterns and find different solutions. Sometimes the best ideas come from unusual questions. In Japan, one factory was polluting a river. The government tried fines and inspections, but nothing worked. Then someone asked a strange question. What if the factory was located downstream from itself? The idea sounded impossible, but it created a new solution. The factory's water intake was placed after its own wastewater area. The factory became affected by its own pollution. This helped solve the problem. Green hat thinking uses imagination. Instead of asking, is this idea right or wrong, it asks, where can this idea take us? Creative thinking needs experiments. Even strange ideas can lead to useful discoveries. For example, cars should have square wheels. This sounds ridiculous, but it can create new thoughts about better suspension systems or vehicles that move differently. The green hat encourages us to search for alternatives. Even when something already works, we can ask, is there a better way? This habit creates innovation. Conclusion: building the map together. In 1984, the Los Angeles Olympics faced a serious problem. Almost every Olympics before that had lost money. But organizer Peter Ueberroth changed everything. The event became very successful and made a large profit. One reason was his ability to think differently and search for new solutions. The Six Thinking Hats method gives us a similar ability. Its power comes from separation, one type of thinking at a time. Everyone looks in the same direction. The six hats create a complete map. Blue hat, organize the process. White hat, collect facts. Red hat, understand feelings. Black hat, find risks. Yellow hat, discover benefits. Green hat, create new ideas. When we use all six ways of thinking, decisions become clearer. The method also removes personal conflict. You can criticize an idea while wearing the black hat without becoming the negative person. You can create unusual ideas while wearing the green hat without being called unrealistic. The goal is not to win an argument. The goal is to explore. Good thinking is not a fight between people. It is a journey where people build a better map together. The best decisions happen when we use facts, emotions, caution, optimism, creativity, and strategy in the right order at the right time. Thinking should be cooperation, not competition. A map we create together, not a battle we fight alone.